Consider a cover letter an extra credit assignment. Everyone should be doing it, yet it's not required. They're becoming less used, and while some see it as a sign of not being effective, I actually see it as a way to go the extra mile, a characteristic every hiring manager loves. When a cover letter is done properly, it showcases your ability to do a high quality work over a candidate that chooses not to, and that in itself shows a positive differentiator in yourself versus others. So let's talk about the anatomy of a good cover letter. A good cover letter shows a few things: how well you can write, everything that you can't fit on your resume, and your unique story. So the question is, how do you write a magnetic cover letter? Let's not beat around the bush. When I was writing my first cover letter, I was terrified, but it's actually easier than you think. It's all about your story and your unique value proposition. And who knows your story better than yourself? Let's review copywriting basics, although I will not make this a copywriting course. Hook, story, pub test, eliminate. Hook. Start with a strong opening statement that grabs the reader's attention. This could be a unique achievement, a relevant skill, or a professional goal that aligns with the job you're applying for. The hook should be concise and intriguing, prompting the reader to want to learn more. A secret most people don't know about writing is 80% of writing is your hook. Some of the best copywriters I study spend 80% of their energy on the hooks because failure to stop the scroll, social media term, or failure to grab attention results in the rest of your amazing story not being read. In order to not make that happen for you and to showcase your uniqueness, here are 7 hooks with examples. Problem, agitation, solution. Example, I knew I was talented but needed a platform to show it. This irritated me that I got rejected by 50+ colleges. If I was gonna graduate from my dream school, I needed to make my best even better. So here's my story on how I did that and how I graduated top of my class at X university. Attention, interest, desire, action. Example, $100,000 got me a Bachelor of General Studies. It was nice to receive a diploma, but now I had debt to pay off, $25,000 to be exact. My loans were stacking, so I took massive action to land an amazing job. Here's how I landed with Dell EMC, advancing 4 roles in 2.5 years, and now looking for my next opportunity. Before after bridge. Example, 4 years ago, I almost flunked out of high school. Over time, I got better and graduated college with a 3.5 GPA and Dean's List distinction. Here's my transformation. Curation hook. Example, over the last 4 years, I've watched 10,000 hours on cloud computing technology. The winning products aren't rocket science. To save you the headache, let me break down everything I learned about winning products and why I'm so passionate about working with insert company name. Lessons hook. Example, 3 non-negotiables I wish I knew growing up. Most will compromise while others will hit the jackpot hitting all 3. They are, and then list whatever 3 non-negotiables. Authority by association. Example, my friend made $5 million trading options on the VIX. The next day he doubled down and lost it all. He gave me this advice on risk tolerance that transformed my life. Then go into your story. Controversial quote. Example, I lack experience for an entry-level sales role is a self-limiting belief I used to have until I started one and nearly quadrupled my income. Have these hooks inspire you to grab attention in your cover letter. An amazing hook will open up an amazing story. Next, the story. Tell a story about your career journey. Highlight your experiences, your accomplishments, and skills in a way that showcases your growth for the position you're going for. Each section should contribute to the narrative, demonstrating how you've developed and what you can bring to the role. For a story, I find it powerful to talk about your past and what has led you to this point. I also enjoy stories that show why I am passionate about the industry. For me, both my parents from a young age told me about sales, and I knew if I didn't become a professional soccer player, I would need something to support me financially. Luckily for me, both my parents worked at competitive sales organizations and taught me the value of communicating at a young age, even though it was extremely uncomfortable ordering my own McDonald's at age 5. The important part is to find your story and why you are here today. Next, pub test. Ensure everything passes pub test, meaning you would write in a way you would speak to someone at a pub. It can feel good to use those complex words, but when you read out loud, ask yourself if you would actually say it. While it may morally feel good to sound like Shakespeare, you will actually build more credibility writing in a text-friendly tone that seems relatable to how people talk on a day-to-day basis. Lastly, eliminate. Be ruthless with eliminating filler words. Remove any information that doesn't contribute to your story or isn't relevant to the job you're applying for. Keep language clear and concise and avoid jargon or cliches. The goal is to make this as focused and impactful as possible. Typically, I'll write a full page and then go back and delete 50% of what I just wrote. Helps to ensure I am concise with my communication. Now, value is relative, so if you convey a concept in a faster, more impactful manner, it's 10 times better than having the fluff for the sake of fluff. If you're interested in more copywriting tips, I suggest following Kieran Drew or Dickie Bush on social media. Both do a great job writing, and I highly suggest leaning into building this skill. Communication, verbally and written, has a positive impact on virtually every career trajectory. Now that we understand copywriting 101, let's craft our story. This is your time to dive deep into yourself and figure out what makes you different from the rest of the candidates. Your uniqueness. The more differentiated you make yourself, the more memorable you'll be. Here are a few questions to think about. What was your upbringing? What previous jobs have you held? What do you geek out on in your free time? What is your greatest achievement you don't think many people have achieved? What is something you've done that not a lot of people may have done to contribute to you being successful in this role? Bonus, don't limit yourself to work. Have you done anything outside of work, like learn a new language, hike a massive mountain, or plant 10,000 trees? Is there something unique about your work ethic, your family? Be sure to display multiple unique angles of yourself that will differentiate yourself to build a memorable story. Examples I talk about was being a personal trainer in college making $75 an hour, running my first Ironman event at age 24, traveling to Southeast Asia solo, cold outreaching to a CEO of a prominent company for a college project, starting and failing a business in college. The list goes on, but find your uniqueness. I guarantee you are your biggest critic. I encourage you, if stuck, ask your family and friends about things you have accomplished that they are impressed with or find unique. I do this all the time with good friends who need help, and they are unexpectedly surprised with the areas I know about them that they classify as normal. Good example. A friend who decided to go to college in Spain prior to knowing Spanish and survived 2 years of studying biology as their major. I'm going to show you an example of a cover letter and break it down. As you can see within the structure at the beginning, it has a hook and talks about the upbringing and how parents were involved in sales and why they're interested specifically in this company and what grew their passion for tech sales specifically. I show detailed examples of where you can see my professionalism, my ability to work through tough situations and achieve superior outcomes. The list goes on, but the main thing is showing your story. Written communication is big in the working world, so show you have good written communication. Now, a bonus I love, how to customize cover letters at scale in under 30 seconds. One thing I hate about cover letters is you can do everything right above, and some hiring managers will still complain that you are simply copying, pasting, and take zero time to write a thoughtful letter. Therefore, they can negate the effort putting into crafting this beautiful document. Knowing this threat, I came up with a way to customize a cover letter in 30 seconds for any company. I call this fill in the blank. If you ever get into sales and do outbound prospecting like this, there are ways to have custom fields reserved for custom data. So for your cover letter, we will keep a few fields custom that we can tweak in 30 seconds to show you put in the extra work to be intentional about your cover letter. So which data do we personalize? Sky's the limit, but here are my suggestions. And I want you to be creative as you do this. My go-to are company address, date, job title, salutation, which could be dear company name, and then I love adding the company mission statement as well. I recommend having most of these custom elements towards the top so that the person reading can tell that you took time to customize right as they start reading to show that you were intentional about writing. Quick changes make it custom without compromising the integrity of your story. Because we want to communicate your differentiated personal brand, we will still use the same format, colors, and fonts as your resume to keep consistent branding. Regardless of which template you use for your documents, make sure colors, fonts, and everything match up to a T. Take some time right now to think of your unique story and start writing. Just start. Don't worry about how bad it is. You can go back and edit. One of my favorite parts of copywriting is people only see the final product. They don't see all the drafts you put in to make it look great. A real life example is I write on social media, and I have a content system where I take posts I wrote in the last 90 days Keep the structure, yet redo the hook or eliminate filler words to make it more crisp. Funny enough, when I repost and hit from a slightly different angle, it will get 10 times more engagement than the original post. This is a testament to your first draft doesn't have to be your best, but you may have to iterate on 3 or 4 drafts. And the best part is a hiring manager will only see your final draft, no matter how many drafts it takes. A good rule of thumb that I'm really emphasizing is waiting a day between drafts to enter the arena with a fresh set of eyes. The max I would write for a cover letter is 3/4 of a page, ideally half. Again, value is relative, and if you go too long, you may visually intimidate potential readers from even starting, so don't be afraid to be short and concise. If you are completely lost, try this AI prompt as a first draft and a bad first draft. I'm in the process of applying for a job and need your assistance in writing a persuasive and effective cover letter. Could you instruct me on the necessary details I should provide with you to compose such a cover letter? The beautiful part about a cover letter is once you have it built, it's well built, a static document that you barely have to change. When going for a dream role, you might only have one shot and you want to make it count. Actions speak louder than words, so don't tell people you have all these amazing characteristics with hard work, attentive to detail, and good written communication. Just show them with the way you deliver your well-written documents customized just for them. Just like your resume, save it and share it as a PDF, not your name, cover letter with some random numbers at the end. And now, with all that being said, we are ready to create a magnetic cover letter to wow hiring managers.